お帰りなさいませ。
Man, oh man. Oh my gosh, this episode has now left me in another place. Another series ending, and it seems like on a cliff note. I believe episode 11 is the last episode. Not completely sure. I hope I'm wrong, because there says like a special something I'm looking at right now at the very end. Special edition. I really hope not. There is always still the light novel. I could become a light novel reader or well, I'm not usually good at reading stuff like this. So I don't know. I might end up having to wait. But right now, one be sure to like and subscribe because otherwise, if I don't remind people, I won't actually get those things done. Two, let's get into this, right? So we start the episode with Karina stuck. They're at a battlefield. All their mechs, but Shin is down, which does not bode well. Okay, Shin is a one-man army basically, but he does need some support, right? That mech's not gonna last forever. Fido, as Karina shouts out at Shin, because I think a shot's headed his way, it's either that or because she yells, he gets distracted, and then a shot gets on his way. Fido takes a shot for him and dies, which is what we get from the last memory of last week's episode, where we watch Fido's memories before he dies and all the other deaths we saw. Very morbid, very sad moment at the very end of that episode, but we spent time on that. But they're all alive. Shin's mech is now the only one who can move. They're low on supplies. They only have guns, and they all believe they're going to die eventually. Because, again, the further out they go, the more chances they have to run into the Legion, which also means they're going to have to fight more, which means this mech is more likely going to get damaged. They're going to run out of ammo. They're not going to have any food or supplies. They're going to die one way or the other. Either not surviving off the land or just dying in general. They hide out in the rain as they see a little cave because they're taking turns on who's driving, and Karina's driving. Shin tells them to go in the little cave near the rain. Then they watch more Legion walk by, and as they seem to say, there seems to be more Legion than before. Karina has never been to a school as they're still traveling. As they see a school, she wants to stay there. Andrew acts like a teacher. They kind of give her like a whole little moment at the school where she gets to say like, "Hi, like I'm here for school," like attendance, and I like the way that Raiden and Theo played along because they've all been to a school beforehand, though none of them can read Japanese. Theo did grab a book specifically that had hiragana in it, I believe, or at least I thought that was what it said. It said Nihongo or something, or Nihonde, something like that, and it had a bunch of like character practicing over and over again. So I wonder if he'll be able to bring a language back, because that's something that could happen here, you know. Or at least maybe the Alba can still read in a general sense, and it's just the 86 right now who is struggling to read because they haven't been taught to do so. And then as they start heading out again anyways, Shin, oh, my bad. So I don't know why I simplified this. Sorry, this, right? So they don't have much fuel left as they leave the school. Anju, it's her turn to drive. So she starts driving, and we're going through this forest area. She's like, "Oh, should we still go here? Like, there's like a mountainish area, right?" And he's like, "No, we're gonna go through. Let's go." So she starts driving through it, and then midway through, Shin goes, hey, actually, let me drive real quick." And then she's like, "Okay, I'm supposed to be driving till lunch." And he's like, "Honestly, to be honest, I'm literally just bored. I just want to drive." And so everybody laughs and chuckles, and then Shin gets in the front passenger seat. We see his head tilted down, and then he drops the cords on his friends and tells them to go run to the forest because there's a fight that he needs to go to since he is the one in the driver's seat, which means he must fight. And then Raiden is pissed, and he's like, "What are you idiot? What the frick are you doing?" And Shin grabs the mountainside and pulls a bunch of the rocks down so his friends can't follow him out into the battlefield, or at least have some sort of distraction in their way that they can't keep up with him. Shin is now in the middle of the battlefield fighting by himself. The rest, so Raiden, Anju, Karina, Theo are yelling and like they're like trying to get over the mountain. They're trying to talk to him like, "Hey, what the heck, dude? We're all supposed to be dying together. That's what we're here for." And then he turns off his ear comm so that way that they can't keep talking to him at this time. They grab their guns, and then they later head out. It doesn't really matter which way I put that scene because it's basically that's all they're doing. Is trying to get over that little rocky hill, and they grab their guns to go fight with Shin, even though there's nearly not like anything they can do. Shin is fighting. He's doing well. He's having shots from the enemy take out other enemy legion, which is a pretty good idea, right? That's basically simplifying the no ammo problem. But eventually, an airstrike shows up, and it knocks his mech over, and now he's on the ground, collapsed and injured. And now at this point, we have to wonder, like, okay, well, Shin can't really get up this mech. Like, one, he's unconscious at the moment. Two, the mech's probably not going to get back up. Three, this is the only thing he has. So it looks like we're getting to dying time. The rest of the guys show up, and they see Shin that he can't move, and they're starting to shoot at the Legion and trying to get their attention instead. Shin kind of starts waking up from hearing their voices, and he's just like, you idiots. The only reason why I did all this is so you guys can get out. You guys are so dumb. But like with a smile on his face, because I think he's so glad his comrades cared about him that much. But at the same time, he doesn't want them to die. So again, as he keeps calling them fools, they're shooting at it, and then we see those running robots again, those freaky looking running robots. Run at Theo and then kind of blow up right in front of him, and he is either unconscious or dead. Right, and then we see them still shooting, and he's like, you Shin, look at me, Shin, like as he's yelling, because again, he wants his friend. He's hoping something will happen. It's clearly obvious these guys are hoping for some sort of salvation here. And then they also get blown up as well, though we don't really see that moment. I think we just like hear a bunch of explosions, right? And then they're all on the ground. We don't see blood, and I am gonna get this picky about it because we don't see any blood. We just see them on the ground unconscious. Now, would I be surprised, or would it be kind of weird if the Legion just stopped there? Yes, it'd be completely weird if the Legion just stopped there. Also, another interesting thing, when Shin got hit, we heard a new voice. Somebody talking about that he needed to protect the princess, and we also got a bunch of visuals with it as well. So we're getting, with these really powerful Legion, it seems we get people with like a whole backstory, not just like, my comrades, hello, my comrades, like the black sheep. The big, I forgot what they were called, the bigger tanks. They are usually, or at least the leaders of that said Legion are usually made up of it seems a person with very strong conviction. And now Shin's having his mech be opened up. As he tries to get up, the leg won't work. And he's grabbing his gun knowing he might have to kill himself because there's nothing else he's going to be able to do. He even acts like when I'm a Legion, like there's no real hope out of this. And then it looks like it's basically the end, and that's all we get from them. And so if we're waiting for another season to know what happened, Jesus, what a cliffhanger. What pain to leave me on that cliffhanger. Oh my gosh, I feel so anxious as it is. Oh my god, I've grown so attached to this squadron. And it's already bad enough. There's a ton of people that seem like they were cool characters that we just never got to really interact with. Right? And then we got more stuff with them later. But there's already so many dead people, and I'm already wondering, like, you know, if they go out to the, I'm just gonna talk because this might be last episode, so let's just get my thoughts out. Right? The happiest ending they could have gotten out of this, which I wanted it to end on, was the fact that they could just go venture out, probably start a fortress or a camp. They're young. There's three dudes. 2 girls, maybe eventually they start their own families or whatever. Someone move on. Sad for Daya, but yeah, I think he wouldn't mind at that point, right? They move on with their lives. Things are good. Things are peaceful. They slowly start building up their ammunition, their weapons, develop something that could, I don't know, maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Attack the Legion, or at least provide some defense, or while they hide, maybe go to a bunker underground or not. It seems the Legion can, like, almost sense they're around, though, so that's another thing. So that always still goes away from it. Maybe they eventually, because Vladilena is so obsessed with them, maybe she'll go venture out, but we don't know how her character is going to go until, you know, this next part that I talk about. And then, you know, maybe she jumps into their group, and then they just have this nice village fortress that maybe they invite other 86 to, or find other 86, lead them back to, and we're fine. And then we let the old city burn. Because I really don't care. Oh my gosh, what did all those albums do? All those albums didn't do anything. A lot of them did, but not all of them. However, I don't care. Where are we going to go with this? All right, let's go to the next part. So we finally see Vladilena again. She's getting off of a helicopter at the 86th district. She sees a robot that looks like Fido, but immediately Eldrick, who she bumps into, tells her you're not gonna find Fido here. He's not here. They took him with him. And then he also breaks down that she's under house arrest for what she did. So those are the consequences we got. She's under house arrest. However, it doesn't seem to matter too much since she went all the way over here, and she seems to still possibly be a handler. Aldrich reveals, big reveal, he is actually an Alba. Turns out that's the reason why he had those shades on all the time, and he dyed his hair so he could go with his wife and child who were 86, or I guess one would be half 86, right? And try to get their rights back. However, they both died in a battlefield. He also points out that she's the only handler to have come down here. Aldrich himself was about to go get himself killed in the middle of the battlefield, had his family been stuck in the form of Legion where their bodies or their minds are trapped in those bots searching for him instead, but Shin let him know that he does not hear their voices. They are not they have not turned into Legion, which allowed him to feel okay with just staying there because at least they've already passed on, and that just means when he dies he can go see them again. However, one interesting note he does do is every time he is now with a new group of soldiers, he will tell them that he's Alba and tell them that it's completely okay if they hate him and completely okay if they want to kill him. He won't hold anything against them, but none of them take him up on the offer, it seems, which is kind of like a sad burden he seems to be carrying around with him. Vladlena's looking around the old place. She's looking at some plants. She's looking around. She sees like their rooms. She even finds Shin's room with the desk, but then she sees the cat, and then all of a sudden her memories start playing back to her. And she starts hearing the breakdown of like, oh yeah, what are we gonna name the cat? Kudo, Shido, white, black, blah blah blah. The different names for his little paws. And she starts following the cat. And then when she does find the cat's back over, I think, not the lunch hall, the big group room they used to all sit around in and like play cards and stuff like that. When she was talking to, not Cujo, what was her name? Kai. When she was talking to Kai. And she sees behind the desk the cat is like scratching at it, and when she opens it up, she finds a little piggy toy that the cat can hit, and that was like a kind of cute little moment. But then when she looks in further, she sees the book Shin used to read. I believe that's the book Shin used to read. And then when she opens it up, she finds a piece of paper with the pig princess drawing. I was wondering if she'd ever see that. By the way, I love when she looked at it. There was just a face of confusion, like what? And then she reads the side of the paper, and there's notes from everyone, and they're like, man, if you were really stupid enough to come all the way out here to go read this dumb book, like, in their passive aggressive kind of like caring way, that she is this much in her character, to telling her to like do a good job. There's a couple of notes in there, but I was so emotional I didn't really get all of it. I'd probably have to renote that one. Sorry if you were looking for like a big breakdown of that. That just like made me so sad. They asked her to name the cat. That was one I got from that too. They left their photo behind for her, and then she started crying and breaking down. She picks up the cat and tries to figure out what she's gonna name it, and now she's like super motivated. She's looking down the railroad they walk down to leave, and she's sure. She's like, I will fight. Like, I'll have to fight. And again, I was hoping she'd be showing up there when Shin and them were in danger, but that would be kind of like super happy ending pulling, and I don't really think this is that kind of anime. And then we go to our ending with her as I think she's the background there, or no, I think she picks up the cat again, leaves, and then it's the 86 like doll thing that sits on the bench, and he doesn't have his head anymore, which I'm wondering is more symbolism for a character later on. And we get that ending scene. We get them disappearing into the like distance with blue, and then we get Vladilena standing there with red in the ending. And that ending song is so well timed and sounds so good for the ending of the anime. And then we get this weird flashback with Shin, or not flashback, like in his mind with Shin. And he is now talking to his brother, which made me think he was dead, because his brother should be dead now, or just completely afterlife, if we're going for that instance, right? He's laying on the ground at first, and we just see his head, and that's also worrying, right? And so as he gets up, he's his younger self. And then we have Shin's brother go, yeah, oh, you're finally here with me too. And he goes to Chet, like, he's like, Shin, watch this. And he, like, drops his book, and he's in a night outfit. And then he slowly walks younger Shin to this window of light. And then when we scroll back down to Shin's body, he's missing his head. So, with the foreshadowing with the other 86, the doll we see, with also missing his head, I'm not too hopeful for Shin right now. I've seen things that make that seem contrasting, but I don't think so. I think Shin might be gone, and that's a big sad. Shin was trying his best. He even was about to give himself away for his friends to live on. And so that's like a whole nother thing now. Did Shin make it? Did they all die? The luckiest happy ending they could get, or at least Shin could get for his friends, is they didn't take his head, but odds are they might have taken his head and they just left and just didn't do anything to the rest of his friends. The Legion thought they were dead from the concussions, and then they move on. I didn't see any blood on them, so there's still a chance they're alive. Other happier ending, Vladilena showed up in time to save all of them. Highly doubt. Extremely 90% highly doubt. Ooh. Yeah. It's a big hit they hit you with at the end of this series. Unless we have another episode on Saturday, whatever the special edition is, I don't believe so. So do not let me get your hopes up. I think this might be it. And I really appreciate you coming along for the ride with me on this one. This was the first ever anime I did like a full review for. On my old channel, I did do like ReZero reviews where I talk about the episodes, but I didn't start from the beginning on that one. I started from the very beginning of this series. And you guys didn't see the other episodes because those got targeted. And I this is the one I went full through, like every episode. Vivi will be the second because I redid all of Vivi. Or rewatched all of Vivi. I didn't do reviews in the first 3 episodes, but that one would still be like a second one I did. Next for us would probably be Demon Slayer. And then Slime I have to watch before July 6th. And then also maybe Villainous, because I believe that's also on its like second season. This isn't the first season. I have to double check. But yeah, hopefully you really enjoyed 86. I really enjoyed every moment of it. I really liked all the characters. If there's any negatives I had, I think I just like I'm still on the whole Vladilena with her consequences thing, because again, I was on the house arrest. But character-wise, I remember going into the show thinking I wouldn't care about most of the characters because the cast is a little too big. And we didn't really get much time with all of them, but they kind of made it in a way where they developed the characters without having to like go into like their deep backstory. When he was 7, he tripped on a rock, and that's why he always had a fear of going on his mech, because he was always afraid the mech would trip, and then he would die that way, but today he stood up. Like, we didn't get all that really dumb stuff. We just got characters living their lives. We got them interacting as people, and it made us realize, like, oh, these are people going out to their deaths. We got a lot of, I wouldn't say we had like a really, like the villain wasn't really strong here. Like the Legion is just an overwhelming force. This is a story about almost like man versus society or man versus nature, where it's dealing with a force that it cannot handle, or man versus the world, I guess. And then from Vladilena's perspective with her villains, it was more so the uncle and Annette slowly trying to creep in her mind to get her to change in her views. And I like the fact that their views are flawed. As I was watching this episode and I was thinking about her uncle's words of like, oh, well, if they all die, then we'll be fine. In that instance, he's wishing for death himself, for the fact that if there's no 86 left, no one's going to defend the city unless they have some secret weapon, and they're all going to die. So that won't do anything for you either, but that's probably the way he feels like he'll be justified in the end, is that they'll all be dead, and so all their sins won't matter. Yeah, the thing he told us was, oh, well, then no more sins exist, that the 86 are dead. But it's just a lot, man. You know, this show was really good, and I really liked everything I watched of this show. It was so great. This is probably gonna have Genshin Impact stuff over the recording, because I'm gonna start doing that now, so that way I can make sure I'm completely safe with both my channels. But like, it really just doesn't take away. Also, yeah, Vladilena is my waifu. I really enjoy her character. I think she's cute. Blah 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 blah. But even with her, like, I got to watch her fail, and not only fail, be wrong in some instances. Like, just things she needs to do or she shouldn't say at all. Like, if she's not going to get out there like she currently is, we got to see her grow from somebody who was scared and sat in the back seat and only preached. about what you should do to being somebody who does what you should do, who does lend support, who isn't afraid to face the consequences that might befall her, and that even when her friends tell her to stop, she's just as knuckleheaded as the rest of them. And we are going to have to see if she's so knuckleheaded, she's going to go run out there to go try to save people who are most likely already dead. You know what I mean? And it looks like that's going to be the way she takes. She's already looking at the road they left on. And then with this other 86 too, she's like the first handler to go down there. She might get other Alba to go down there. She might be motivating enough to do it. Oh, this girl went to house arrest? Oh, this girl just didn't care about the rules? Oh, shoot, let's go follow her. She might have actually done something that might be meaningful at the end of the day. Unless she's going to have to fight some government force that won't allow her to do it anymore. She is under house arrest. But that doesn't seem to stop her much. And then we have to wonder what happened to Annette, because if she's under house arrest, either Annette snitched, which I highly doubt she did, or her uncle finally started letting her face some consequences so she'll stop. But that's not going to happen, I don't think. And she's more likely going to either save everybody or die like a fool. But at least I can respect that. And then Shin's character. We got so much out of Shin. We got Shin going from this very closed off person. Like, he got to talk to his friends, but because he was on that death run to go find his brother, he was always so much more focused on getting that done. It was always about keeping his comrades alive, but it didn't seem like he went as, like, he was really close to them, but he wasn't close about himself. He was close about them. So their stuff he knew, but it wasn't completely the other way around. Like, they knew his vendetta because Raiden talks about it beforehand, but it just felt like he himself was so closed off because he was so hurt and confused by his brother's hatred for him, and he just wanted to ease his brother's hatred. And when he finally figures out, like, his brother didn't hate him, that one face of shock we get is so overwhelming, you know? And then when you watch him cry from his brother's death, it just hits you. And then, like, Vladilena finally kind of gave him someone to talk to all day, all night, as we heard from Karina. To the point she was jealous about it, because it clearly was somebody he actually was having conversations with, somebody who could tell him about his brother and giving him memories that he didn't remember about his brother, wanting and searching for him desperately. Even if his brother did do the cruel act of choking him out, like, that was terrible. But his brother was under stress. Again, what do you do? Like, I like the way that this anime writes the situation of, like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't validate what this brother did, but being told, like, your mom's dead, you're the only person that's here with your brother, you're about to go out to war against those monster legions who you can hear the voices of. I don't know if he can hear. I believe they can hear the voices of them, right? Because Vladilena hears them, everybody else hears them. You can hear the voices of all these dead people as they're crying out to you, and these machines are trying to rip your head off. Like, it's not even like they're just trying to kill you. They're trying to kill you in the most morbid way possible. Beheading. And then they're going to put you in machines where you're stuck reliving the same thing, if you're even alive or if it's just a copy of you. That's a whole nother question. And you're just going to have to deal with it. Like, that's just it. That's you're living... You're living in the worst possible situation you can. And it's already bad enough you're called a dirty pig. You're, like, living around trying to save these people, or you're having to save these people who are forcing you to the front lines. All your friends and families, you know, are most likely been ripped away from you. And he was older, so he lived his life in, like, regular times before all this super mega racism. That's not a super mega racism. Oh my gosh, dude. So many characters got so many moments, like Theo's kind of hatred for the Alba, and you having to deal with the death of Daya, and then I think her own self-confidence about being, like, I believe she's like half Alba, right? So she's not even completely there. Karina's crush, and, like, how it makes her feel that he's over here flirting with an Alba, even though an Albas are the reason why they lost their families and everything else like that. She's always so conflicted about it. Raiden just seems to be like do or die, bro. Like, he was do or die in the very beginning, do or die in the end. Dude, he ran out there with a gun, man. Talking about bravery and everything, these dudes ran out there with guns. Oh my gosh. Usually when it comes to gun talk, I'm always kind of like, like they can make you, like, it's not like you're not brave with a gun, but, like, when you talk about, like, old history, people used to run out there with, like, swords and stuff. But in this regard, it's basically like running out with the sword. You're going to have to get so close to these machines and do so much damage for any of them to go down. And it's not happening. Man, dude, I really enjoyed this anime. And then, yeah, Vladilena is probably going to go on the high waifu list. I have a 3x3 of my waifu list, so yeah, she's going to get that spot. Man, that's just... Dude, I'm so sad this anime is over. I really enjoyed this anime. Hopefully you enjoyed my reviews of this anime. Again, these won't be the only ones. As I said, I'm going to try to rewatch watch Demon Slayer. I have not watched it yet. I need to finish Slime so we can get to the season 3 of Slime, because supposedly season 2 is really good. And then 3. I don't know if I really want to do my review of 1. I think I just want to get through 1. 1's kind of a hard watch for me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're going to end Vivi, because Vivi's going to be done soon. And then I think there's a couple of shows coming out in fall. I think fall is probably going to be our big month of like, woo, top tier anime. If there's any shows you want to hear me watch in the summer, let me know. Because I know there's a big list, and a lot of them aren't like big names. I know like Dragon Maid's like a big name and something like that, but I think Dragon Maid's a little too slice of life for me. Yeah. And then I also have to finish Odd Taxi. I'm still on episode 8. I need to get my episode 4 to 8 review on that one. But hopefully you enjoy, and I'll catch you all later. Peace out, Baka Brigade. It's been Lightning Eagle. Also catch me playing Genshin or Guilty Gear Strive. I'd appreciate that. Bye.